All right, welcome back to another E7 video. All right, so we got some patch notes. I was waiting for the patch notes themselves to come out, but there's some things in. I was going to just go over the patch notes, but there's some things in here in the video that, well, I think one thing in here that's not in the patch notes itself. So we'll watch the video anyways, and then we will look at the patch notes right after. Let's go. All right. So, Sharoon side story. This is going to be the new young senior type event from last year, but with some improvements. October 27th. Astrium Path Pass. This is a little bit of a weird one. Then we got Laia and Luluca's getting EE, Guild War. Alright. And then this thing right here. Guild War Guild War quick match update. I'm wondering if this is for the tournament or if this is like the arena quick battles for Guild Wars. Because if it is the quick battles, that might be a little bit crazy. I don't know if you would ever want to use this unless you just see somebody has like a weird defense that you think, oh, whatever, you want to auto battle it. But there's so much RNG involved in Guild Wars and stuff. You want to really be in control of what's going on the field. So if it is quick battle, I don't think people should do this unless you're certain 100% you can beat that team, right? Uh, but if it's just something for the tournament, then it is whatever, right? That's there. Guild War tournament update. Yeah, that doesn't concern anybody who's not in the top 30 guilds. Top 30, I think it's top 32. Yeah, exactly, something like that. Recommended artifacts display feature added is going to be added, and Falan. Falan is getting a rerun, right? So we'll talk about this later, but they might be just trying to drain out your Skystone. So if you don't have a Falan right away, I mean, you should still probably try to get a copy of her. I know we just had the free rent collab, so I don't know if people are okay on bookmarks. If you are, try to get a copy of Flan and then just buy a copy of an artifact from the shop. All right. And then we'll just wait until the next limit it comes, which is probably going to be soon, to be honest. I got the class summon with a new artifact, which is pretty interesting, I'm gonna lie. And here's the Mystic Rerun. This is probably gonna be the one before ML Yulha comes in. So after this will probably be ML Yulha. Right? Alright. That is that. Now let's actually look at the notes themselves. Right? Okay. The new artifact. Okay. Can I open this up? Yeah. I can open it up. Increases attack by up to 20%. Oh, what the hell? Increases attack by up to 20%. And after using a basic skill, guys, this is skill 1. This is not, people are saying this is like RNL or things like that. RNL can activate on any skill. That is, I think, an attack skill, right? Or no. I think you can attack on almost any skill. So RNL can activate on any skill. This is only on skill 1s. So think of it as like a Dust Devil, but instead of doing an extra attack, it is an extra turn. All right. So 40% chance, similar chance. Actually, that's pretty high of a chance. Like if you guys know Setsuka's artifact has a 40% chance to attack again, and that thing activates. Sometimes it low rolls, but a lot of the times it high rolls, right? And this is around the same proc chance at max level. It's going to be 30% at plus 15, I believe, or somewhere around there. Chance to grant an extra turn can only be activated once per turn. Okay. Once per turn, which is pretty decent. I don't know who else could use this. The only hero I could have thought of was Green Sit, right? Because he has the defense break and he can go into that again. All right. Another one could be Emma Celine, but then Emma Celine, she won't have. So I know some Celines use the Summer Young artifact, photogenic. Some of them use Wind Rider and things like that. Some use Alexa Basket to get the gab. There's a lot of things, right, that she could use. But if you're using this, then you probably have to bring her with buffers, maybe some protect units or anything like that, right? So, and then there's well, where could this be useful? Well, it could be useful. Like if you run out of souls, if you run out of souls, and you're like a turn off from getting your thing, and you proc this, then you can go proc it and then get your revive off, right? So it could be useful there. I don't know who else right now that is a thief that relies heavily on their basic skill that much. You obviously cannot put this on Setsuka because then you're gonna be losing 20% evasion, right? So we'll have to see, and it has to be on the caster's turn, right? Yeah, on the caster's turn. So Setsuka proccing counters doesn't trigger it, right? No, we'll have to see. I think Green said maybe there's a spot for ML Celine to use this, and then maybe there might be a thief coming out in the future that's going to use it. Who knows? But for now, there's that. Right, back to here. Back to here. So yeah, as I spoke about, this is the new side story. It's going to be very similar to the one that we had in December for Young Senya, but they made some improvements with movement and they added like teleportation waypoints around the map and everything like that. So hopefully it's better to traverse, right? And I hope that they add more enemies and they make the enemies more meaningful because fighting the enemies in the Young Senya side story, like they didn't really, they didn't even drop anything really. So I hope it's better this time around. All right. We get like we get a background music, right? This is it. Yeah. Completed new background music. So we get a background music for this as well. And you can see the map looks a little bit better. I like this like darker map compared to the Young Sunny one. A little bit, it was a little more grayish, right? Um, as you can see, these are the rewards we can get. Profile card border, illustration, bookmarks, Molagora. We get two weapons, a ring and a sword. I believe that's a sword, maybe. All right. The Guild War season is starting. It's closing Saturday, October 25th, which should be this week. And yeah, the new season, preseason is going to end. And the top 30 or 32 guilds are going to be going into their tournament, right? Tournament preparation phase or whatever. So if you're in the top 30 guild, make sure you're talking to your guild mates and prepare for that, right? Season Guild War tournament, group stage, good composition reveal on the 26th, the Sunday, and the 27th on the Monday is the group stage round one, round two, and round three is here. Round of 16. Oh my god, round of 16. So there's a best of one. So best of one, best of two, and then best of three, and it's 16. What does this mean? Anyways, but there we go. I want to see this. I actually want to watch this live to see how the guilds coordinate or how are they gonna do it? Are they gonna use this the normal guild war layer that we have to do it, or are they gonna use something else? We'll have to see because everybody will have to attack at the same time, right? So, or I believe you choose representatives for your guild, right? I don't know if it's gonna be the whole guild attacking, but if your representatives are from different time zones and stuff, it's gonna you're gonna have to figure that out, right? These are all the rules and everything for that. I don't really care too much about these because my guild is not gonna be there. So what's the point of it, right? New EEs, Luluca and Laia. All right. I looked at these a little bit before. The Luluca one, I'm really liking. Laia, I'm not too sure about yet, but let's look at Luluca. So Luluca's EE is a speed EE that's gonna give her the 10 more speed. If I look at my E7, where is she at? Green Soul Weaver. I think her speed is like 115, right? Wait, or am I tripping? Previous stats. No, 105 base speed. Okay, so she's gonna be 115 base speed now. Okay. She's gonna be up to 115 base speed. Okay. Um then okay. Orders in Just Wait increases the combat readiness by an additional 5% when using Orders in Just Wait, which is the skill one. So the skill one currently has a 15% CR push for the ally who has the highest combat readiness except for Luluca. And you can soul burn it to apply that to the entire team. So you can soul burn the skill one and get a 20% CR push for your entire team now instead of just 15%, right? Um, One of Luluca's special. This is the passive, right? Increases combat readiness of the caster by an additional 15%, which takes her passive from a 25% to a 40% CR push whenever an enemy uses a non-attack skill. And a lot of people are already talking about it, that this is something to counter like Ahmed Cleave, right? You cut in between the Ahmed, and you press, you strip, blind, right, the enemy team. Or one of our guild friends are saying, if you have the Aflan who's coming on banner, you can, if you have souls, you can soul burn this. You can soul burn the skill one if you choose to go for this. But I think most people are gonna go for this. If you have a faster Aflan, you can use this. Alright. Make your Aflan a little bit faster. Use this. Push up the Aflan. She's gonna hit dual attack with Luluca, right? Do a type with Luluca, and then she can get a 25% push for the entire team, and if she cuts, right? Or you can just use it to snipe the DPS. So let's say you're fighting and they have strays as their only DPS now or something, which is not never really the case. Like the people who are make leave, they usually have like 2 to 3 DPS, right? So they have like they have free Ren, they have strays, they have things like Kisei. They usually have around 3 DPS around there, right? So, but for the one who's the most problematic, you can press S1 into Luluca, snipe it with the A flan if you get access to that. Or if you don't have access to that, then you can just use the skill 3 to gain the extra focus and blind the enemy team, right? You can do that as well, which is looking like a very nice EE right here, right? Um, I think this. I don't know. I might still give her some more ER, but I feel like giving her some effectiveness as well, so she can land that. She could land that strip and blind, and hopefully get the silence as well. That would be really nice. This one's on me. Decreases cooldown. Or this one's on me by 1 turn, which is the skill 3, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the only skill. So that's the only skill. But yeah. So this is I don't think this one is going to be used that much. I think the skill 2 is going to be used, or maybe the skill 1 sometimes. But I think the skill 2 is way too valuable against like cleavers and stuff to let it pass up like that. Mm. So you can make her super fast. You can make her like 260, 270 maybe around there, and maybe she'll be able to cut in between. We'll see. Maybe even slower. If you're using slow constellation, then you probably could run her slower. If you're using her own artifact, because that also gives her a, I think 15. Is it 15%? What's it? It's I think it's 15%. What is it at plus 15? Let me look at my soul weavers real quick. So soul constellation plus 15 increases 12% CR. So that could go up to 52% if you have her artifact. Instead of 40%, it's going to be 52% push. So, or if you have it a higher level, I think it goes up to 15%, right? So you could very easily cut in between an Ahmed cleaver, right? If you have access to this unit. So I think, yeah, like I'm really liking this. For as Laia goes, she's getting health, right? She's getting health. Okay, I think this one here, Sing With Me, triggers a dual attack from the ally in the back row instead of a random ally when using Sing With Me. So if you want to, I know you might say, well, why didn't they just make it highest attack? They could have done that, yeah. But you can just get around that by putting your highest attack unit in the back, and there you go. You have your dual attack with highest attack on Laia. Just that simple, right? They could have just done that instead, but maybe you want to dual attack with somebody else. But I wouldn't see anybody else that you would want to dual attack with besides your DPS, all right? Guaranteed. But yeah, you can put your DPS in the back, and yeah, that's it. Increases combat readiness amount by 5% when using sweet cheer. Okay, sweet cheer. How much does that push by? Is it 20 or 25%? Where's my Laia? Green warrior. Sweet cheer. 25%. Okay. So it goes up to 30% CR push, which is standard, similar to like DJP and stuff like that. Okay. Which is nice. I think the dual attack one might be the most used one, but I'm not too sure. And then decreases the cooldown of Spirit or Rock by 1 turn. If this could be able, if this works out pretty well, she could be able to spam this thing way more often. Now, there's certain things that still get in her way that are still present. So injury gets in her way, obviously. Nav kinda gets in her way. And now there's the RTA rule that gives anti-pen. That does the anti-pen, right? So there is that. But you can just pick her into maybe the warrior rule, but she already pens by 100, right? Penetrate, yeah. She already penetrates by 100, so she doesn't get any bonus for that. But basically just don't pick her into the anti-pen, or you can just use her as a dual attacker for your DPS or a cleanser, CR pusher. You can do that still into the other rules if you want to. But yeah, I think it's okay. She needs testing, but the Luluca one seems pretty strong. But Laia, I think she needs some testing. I'm not writing them off yet, but I think the dual attack one for me maybe. But dual attack one for me maybe. Um, the extra CR push could be nice as well. The cooldown one could be nice, depending on how fast she can cycle that skill 3, right? Then even anti-pen stuff might not matter if she can cycle it a lot. But it depends. It depends, but we'll see. I definitely want to test it out. The Epic Pass. Oh, this one is a weird one. All right. So this Epic Pass is gonna cost you 1900 instead of the regular 1800 it would usually be. Like a normal Epic Pass with the skin would be 1800, right? But then this one is 1900. I guess it's because of these little boxes here. And from what I heard, like, I don't wail, but from what I heard, actually, let me look in the shop because I heard they're in the gear packs. You're in the gear packs. Let me look real quick. So packs, where are they at? That growth. No. Oh well. I'm not gonna figure out. I'm gonna spend too much time looking for them. Recommended. Where's the gear packs? Can't find them. So, but I heard what these things are basically you select I guess your main stat and your set that you want, and I heard that the substats are randomized, right? But if you look at the if you look at the name of this thing, it's called a tailored equipment selector, right? If it is a tailored piece of equipment, it should let you also choose the substats as well, right? If you don't, if it's actually random, if you get to choose all the substats as well, then yeah, sure. If it's not, then that's not a tailored piece. Tailor made is supposed to be perfect for you, right? So the subs that should include the substats as well. The other thing that kind of bugs me here is that, like I told you before, with the A-flan thing, they're trying to drain your sky stones, right? So these things are supposed to be currency for us to get to use in the mode to craft gear, but they decided to put it on the premium side instead of the free to play side. So now you have to kind of spend the sky stones to be able to craft more gear, which is kind of weird. I don't know why you would do that. Just let us have access to the currency so we can craft gear. Don't put it over here, Put it on the free to play side and put some other stuff here. All right. So don't know why. Let me look. Let me make sure. So this is the free rewards. Let's see if we get any for free to play. Greater equipment. No. These are called Astrium. There's no Astrium on the free to play side here. Well, I say free to play. Gems are free to play because you get them from Arena. But I'm saying they should just made it standard here instead of having to buy this to get them. You know. And is there only one price? Yeah, there's only one price. So it's not like the other Epic Passes where okay, you can buy just the one for 900, and that would have been probably worth it, right? You can buy the one for 900, and it will be fine. But no, you have to pay the full 1900. So if it's worth it for you for these little selection chests here, you get a few of them there. Then yeah, you can go. I think you get one, two, you get three pieces. Okay. And from what I heard, you cannot choose the substats, but I don't know if that's 100% factual because I don't whale on gear, right? So, and then yeah, we got the class summon again. I think we already talked about the artifact. I don't know who else is going to be using it, but oh, they didn't actually show this. They didn't actually show the new class summon picture here as well, but on the class summon banner, let me see. No, they didn't show it. Okay, on the class summon, oh, here it is. So they've somewhat added a pity system, quote unquote, to the class summon banner, right? Because people were complaining, hey, you can do a rotation and not get the banner. Why isn't the artifact the one that's guaranteed after 120? So now they've sort of added that, right? So I hope they add that to banners going forward. So when you do 120 summons, you get the hero and you get the artifact as well. I hope they add that to regular banners. But when you do at 30 summons, you get 10 bookmarks. 60 summons, you get another 25. Um, at 90, you get another 20. Wait, what? At 90, yeah. At 90, you get another 25. And then at full pity, which is 120, um, you get the artifact, right? Guaranteed. Now, the way this was shown off, I'm gonna assume, right? But the way it was shown up, it's a bar that's outside of the banner, which means if you pull what's it? Master of the Nightmare. Okay. If you pull the Master of the Nightmare on your first 30 pulls, it doesn't reset this. So if you get one early before here, it might be worth to just go up to the 120. That's if you're swimming in bookmarks, because as I said, with them doing stuff like this here, it's probably I would assume in like 2 weeks after Flan, Sigret could come, or it could be Yenya and then Sigret, or something like that, right? I think they might feed us more limited very soon, so you have to be careful on spending your currency. But yeah, if you have a lot of it and you happen to get a copy early, then you want to use this artifact, you see somebody that you can use it on. Again, it only activates on skill ones, and there's a 40% chance to get an extra turn on your turn, right? So remember that. All right. So if you get it early within somewhere here, then it might be worth just push it. It might be worth just pushing to the 120 to get that second copy, and then you can get your third copy from the shop, right? You don't have to go all the way up here. This is for whales, right? So you gotta ask yourself: is that artifact worth 600 bookmarks for you? 605 bookmarks. If it is, then go for it. If it's not, then yeah, just get a copy from the shop and level it that way, right? For with powder. A flan also very strong unit. She's still pretty good, right? And especially with the repulse set, she's very nice. But yeah, that's her afternoon so plan. I don't think you need to speak much about how strong she is, right? She's pretty decent still. All right. Other improvements and adjustments. Additional purchase note will be displayed when buying certain products. Popular equipment pack and popular accessory pack added. Okay. Guild War building UI will be partially adjusted. Okay. The Guild War building UI will be partially adjusted. So they're getting ready. They're getting ready to prepare for the big Guild War update that we saw on the dev talk. All right. Guild War season summary UI will be added. Oh, season summary. Okay. During World Arena band pick, hero details will now display whether exclusive equipment is equipped. During World Arena band pick, hero details will now display whether exclusive equipment is equipped. Hero details. Are they talking about that thing that you hold down when you're doing RTA? I thought it did that before. Well, maybe I'm thinking about the draft arena, but I'm pretty sure it did show. It should have showed EE. Maybe it wasn't. I didn't pay attention to that, but I was just looking at the stats and see if I had my gear equipped. Okay. The event indicator in battle UI will be changed from a red dot to a E badge. Uh, oh, the share team formation feature will be removed from the yeah, okay, so now they're removing this finally because they gave everybody time to set up their teams and different things, different content, and now they're removing it. Okay, for accounts that are created after August 1st, 2024, any Skystones used, will be refunded in mail. Certain story animations will be adjusted. Okay, the reforging UI will now display the number of substat enhancements performed. Reforging UI. Oh, okay. So when you're reforging, you will see the same. Like when you roll the gear, you see like the number one, two, how many times you rolled into a stat. You're gonna see that on the reforge screen as well. Um, yeah. A new normal effect category will be added to under hero effect. Yeah. So now you can search. This is actually pretty huge. You can search by, for example, if a unit does extinction, you can search for what unit does extinction. You can search for units that will combat ratings increase or decrease. You can search for those things, which was pretty nice, right? A new filter option will be added to the display hero equipment with specific sets in the hero filter. So yeah, you can filter by which characters are on speed sets, which character are on destro sets, who's on my like for example, if you have I guess this will be helpful if you have multiple for example, some people have strays like on speed set, right? They have like a 270 something strays. Some people have like a slower strays on destro. They might say, okay, where's my destro strays? Where's my speed strays? Do I want to pick the correct one? And then I guess it can help like that. I guess it can help in those types of situations. Okay, that's pretty good. The equipment stats filter and equipment sort feature will be updated. Yeah, they did a little bit of an overhaul on that. The equipment sort by stats option will now be changed to sort by substats. Okay. Artifact filter UI will be updated. When equipping artifacts, recommended tags. Oh yeah, so it'll show you and this is based on this thing here is based on player data. So it will just show you like the most commonly used artifacts if you own it. I think will be shown at the top with a little thumbs up emoji on it. It will tell you that is the artifact most used by the player base. Obviously, if there's like a bunch of the player base, like I've seen that in other games. I think and I said that before in the other video. I said I think Epic 7 players are more like serious about the meta, but in some games there's players who use like hit set on a unit that doesn't have any debuffs or any effects that they do. They like, why are you using hit set? Like, why is that being recommended to me? Right? It's like things like that. Some games will have things like that, but I think in E7 it won't be too much of an issue unless like a majority of the player base is trolling, which could still happen. But yeah, uh, yeah, the check-in theme will be changed. Title screen will be changed. Yeah, quick battling will be added to Guild War. Yeah, so yeah, it is quick battling. So it is quick battle being added to Guild War. It's I'm saying again, like I don't know if you want to do that. I don't know if you want to do that, right? Because a lot of RNG is involved sometimes, and you know, dual attack was triggered when using Laia's skill 1 after her skill 3 cooldown was reset by a cooldown decrease effect. Wait, what? An issue where dual attack was triggered when using Laia's skill 1 after her skill 3 cooldown was reset by a cooldown decrease effect at the start of battle will be fixed. Okay, they're talking about like they're talking about ARAM. So after they're talking about like ARAM and things like that, right? So if ARAM reset Laia's skill 3, she still triggers the dual attack. That's funny. All right. Okay. Rune effects of certain specialty change heroes will still apply to allies after death will be fixed. Huh? The only person I can think of is Christy, but Christy specifically says even if she dies, the effect still stays, right? I don't know who else is doing things like that. No. Okay. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. There's a lot of things there to talk about. But yeah, still, there's a lot to talk about, but it's not really that massive of an update, right? There's a lot of things going on, but there's a lot of smaller things, right? Until we like get the side story, we have the class summon. Um, Guild War update stuff is nice, but it really only matters a lot for the um the top guilds that are going to participate in the tournament. Obviously, make sure you do your voting to try to get that badge, the top voting badge, whatever it was called, and you get some rewards as well for voting. So make sure you do those. The new Epic Pass, I still don't like that this is here on the paid side. I wish it was just up here so you can just save our currency. But yeah, this is how it's going to be. This is probably how it's going to be going forward, and people are probably going to buy it. So thing is with these things, or if you support it, it's not gonna change, right? So I don't know. Maybe other people will think it's worth, but I'm just saying be careful with your currency because this is probably an indication of like something coming soon, right? We already have A flan coming. We have this, and then yeah, we're probably gonna get another limited soon. Remember, we just came off the collab. We have the class summon as well. So not only do we have A flan rerun for the people who don't have her, we have this thing. We have the class summon pity system. There's a lot of things they're trying to get you to waste your currency on. So be careful. Yeah, and I'll see you guys in the next one.